What's up everybody, how's it going? It's Berk, aka Dan's Great here, and welcome to this commentary playthrough of Final Fantasy XVI The Rising Tide DLC. So after 15 months away from Final Fantasy XVI, I have made a return. Consider this like the last dance of Final Fantasy XVI on the channel. And I've always wanted to check out the Rising Tide DLC. I did the first one. It's definitely fun, but I think the Rising Tide DLC is kind of like the quote-unquote real one. Like this is the big DLC. Has a lot more story to it, has a lot more content, and I'm looking forward to giving it a go. So I am back in the world of Final Fantasy XVI. Definitely missed it to some extent. Like, I didn't miss more like the gameplay side of things, but I think just in terms of like, you know, Clive, Ben Starr's performance as Clive, the Hideaway, like the friends we've made here, the community that we have going, people like Gav, Lady Karen, Tomes, all of those guys, I've definitely missed them, and it's going to be nice to make a comeback for a little while. So we're going to get going with the DLC, and anyone who's enjoyed the 16 playthrough, hopefully it'll be nice for you guys to come back to it as well, and we'll see what this DLC holds for us. So I'm looking forward to it because Leviathan was one I was definitely curious about through the main playthrough, and I did definitely spot the giant crystal kind of off in the distance, and the game kind of didn't make any mention of it. And I kind of always felt like there was something weird going on with that. And so now, given that we have the story of Leviathan the Lost to be a part of, I'm sure that's going to be very cool to find out more about. So let's read this missive here and get things going. So, Echoes of the Fallen. Yeah, this one's kind of, I guess, like what you get after completing Echoes of the Fallen. So probably just a little epilogue-y kind of vibe. Okay. There's always room at the Hideaway. Now, let's get to the main thing here. Cid, I should not waste time mincing words. Leviathan's dominant is in need of rescue. And despite my innumerable misgivings about joining hands with an outlaw of the highest disrepute, the dame has assured me that there is none better suited to the task at hand. I dare not reveal more for fear this missive could fall in the wrong hands, but if what little I have penned here has kindled your interest, I bid you journey to the Vale in Northreach and inquire with one Layla. She will surely see you satisfied.
Leviathan the Lost? But why now? After all this time.
Why, what now?
Jillian?
Oh, I'm not sure you'd believe me if I told you.
After all we've been through. I doubt there's anything that could surprise me at this point.
All right then. Rouse Joshua and meet me in the mess. We'll talk there.
Rouse Joshua.
I see we're all here.
So, what is it this time?
I'm not sure yet. The letter delivered to my chambers omitted a few crucial details.
Do we know its provenance?
That was one of the details it omitted. But whoever the sender was, it seems the dame held them in high enough regard to point them in our direction.
The dame? Well, she's not one to waste our time. It must be important.
Important might be an understatement. If the letter is to be believed, Leviathan's dominant is in danger. And someone wants us to save him.
Leviathan?
So the Warden of Water has finally returned. What has it been? 100 years?
More. The Lost moniker dates back at least that long. Even our venerable lawsman would not have been so much as a glint in his father's eye when last the mighty serpent brought his crashing waves to bear upon the realm.
But why the gap? I know it can be a few years before a new dominant's born. But over a century?
Should the dominant of Water's bloodline have been severed somehow, it could have prevented a new dominant from awakening.
But if one has awakened now, he couldn't have chosen a worse time. Every nation in the realm has lost its dominant. If word gets out that there is still one to be had, they will stop at nothing to claim it for their own.
And the twins will be at war again, just when humanity most needs to come together. Did the letter say anything else?
Only that if I wish to know more, we must meet in person. And that the Veil can arrange a meeting.
If nothing else, you can be certain it ain't a trap.
Famous last words. I'm coming with you.
As am I.
Excellent.
Thank you. Both of you. And Otto?
Yeah. I'll keep an eye on things here. Didn't fancy coming anyway.
Thank you. I shall leave the Invincible in your capable hands.
Alright, there we go. Quest accepted, the Rising Tide. Yeah, if there's one thing that Square Enix has generally been pretty good at, is creating Leviathan battles. Thinking about Final Fantasy 15, it was probably like one of the most standout, like, epic moments of 15 for me, the Leviathan fight. And considering how epic the fights have been in this game, they've set the bar very high for that kind of thing, so I do have quite high expectations for the boss battle against Leviathan. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Okay, this stuff. Yeah, okay. So I think they give it to you at a good point in the story. Clearly it's kind of pretty endgame content, and I think the premise is definitely kind of well placed. Obviously, I think all in all, I probably would have preferred it and enjoyed it if, like, it was available from the start. It was just a big kind of extra piece of side material that you could engage in through your first playthrough, but you know how it is, DLCs have their place, and especially this one being a more like significant thing. Definitely curious to see what they've cooked up. I have heard it's somewhere between 5 to 10 hours, depending on whether you kind of just crunch through mostly the story, or whether you do the side content that's also included within the DLC. Now, let me quickly check here. I did do, obviously, the Omega DLC, so maybe I get something.
Trouble with your gear, or
Let's have a look.
what do you want?
Yeah, okay, I guess I didn't pick this up at the time. Definitely worth getting.
Not bad, if I do say so myself.
And then... yeah, not sure I have any upgrades beyond that.
That it?
Cool. Let's pay Lady Karen a little visit as well.
Aye, it's a dangerous world out there. Let's stock up.
Yes. Alright. It's always one of my favourites.
You're rubbing me blind, you know.
Clearly
I'll
need to
find a
stock up
better
on
price
these.
than that.
But man, like, in terms of
You're
gameplay,
rubbing me blind, you know.
I do not remember shit.
Is that all?
Like, beyond just being rusty, I kind of feel like I've almost never played this game before. In terms of the gameplay, like, I literally I need to remember, like, what's the attack button, what's this, what's that. That's the levels that we're talking. So it's going to take, like, some time to get back into this.
Here he is. I'll hold the fort. Don't you worry.
Just wanted to quickly say hi. As I say, I think like this was some of my favorite aspects, like the community that we put together here. Definitely some fun NPCs that I enjoyed interacting with through the game. With Gab being premier among them. But you guys know I love Tomes as well, so I'll quickly check in. I want to see if he has anything to say about Leviathan before we go.
Knowledge hoarded is knowledge lost.
Yeah, unfortunately nothing about that. It would have been nice if he kind of told us. I guess, I know Joshua said like he wasn't even around at all then, but I thought like he must have come up with something, but no. Ah, yeah, not all of it is voice acted, that's a shame. We can only assume that the Mother Crystal's ability to channel ether was as valued by the fallen civilization as it has long been by ours. Much more, no doubt, due to the vast quantities of ether that their ingenious inventions must have required.
In short,
The blessing of the crystals, that to modern man has seemed a nigh limitless bounty, must to them have appeared a resource most limited indeed. Little wonder that they should seek to divine the very source of this blessing, that they might claim it for their own. You witnessed the bitter fruit of that ambition within that tower. And not only that, their ambition to overthrow the gods too, the iconoclast Omega, destroyer of the divine. Ironic that the icons, mighty works of Ultima, if his words are to be believed, should take their name from a mighty work of mankind that was designed to destroy him. Or perhaps entirely fitting.
Fare thee well, my friend.
There we go. Quick little check-in with tomes as well. And well, of course, I mean, I'm not surprised, but it's good that we have Jill and Joshua with us as well. One thing I've always said is that I feel like the party elements of this game are generally weak. Like, gameplay-wise, it kind of doesn't really exist much anyway. And I think, like, near the final phase of the game, when we finally started to have, like, Joshua and Jill basically around with us to do, like, the final bits of questing and that kind of thing together, I did still kind of expect a little more. They started it off well with Sid. Like, they set the bar nice and high. And some of the bits with Uncle Byron, etc. were really nice. But all in all, I still feel like the Clive, Joshua, and Jill, like, exploration and adventuring part of the game, outside of, like, the literal scenes they share together, still just wasn't, like, as strong as I would like it to be. So I'm kind of hoping that they take it up a notch in the Leviathan DLC. But we will reserve judgment until we've finished things off. Quick check-in with Dion. I doubt these guys have anything new. I've kind of exhausted all of their dialogue, but still.
Courage, Ifrit. I await your word.
Quickly, can I not pet Torgal here? It's got to be out in the world. Sorry, boy. Soon.
How goes it, brother?
Okay.
Does it not seem odd?
That after an absence of more than a century, Leviathan should reappear just as you claim the power of the realm's final warden.
Could this perhaps be a part of Ultima's plan?
That's all we got.
Shall we then?
Alright, I say let's get a move on. I need to kind of start getting reacquainted with the game. Like, how do I even play this game? So, we need to get started. So, I think we can, like, fast travel. Need to go to North Reach. Okay. Just do this. Hopefully it gives a little bit of a warm-up, because obviously it didn't release when the game did. So, or like even close to when the game did.
To the Vale it is then.
I have to assume that they know that people haven't, like, a lot of players wouldn't have been playing the game for a while, so I'm hoping they kind of ease you in a little bit. If not, it's going to be a bit of a trial by fire, and I'm just going to get absolutely destroyed for a while until I kind of remember how to play again.
But enough talk.
Ah, yes, the
Fancy
Vale.
a peek behind the veil, my lord?
No, we've got business to attend to.
I'm looking for a Layla.
You found one. So, will your friends be joining in? Or just watching?
We're not here for your services. We simply want to talk.
What you do with your time is up to you. The price is still the same.
We're here about the letter.
Oh, sorry. I suppose you'll be wanting to know who wrote it then.
Among other things.
Look, I'm just the messenger here. There's only so much I can tell you.
Specifically?
A location, north of town, on the shore of Isle of Feist Bay. There you'll find a tent and the woman who can answer your questions.
And that's all? Nothing else?
Actually, one thing. There's more than flowers in the meadows these days. So keep that sword of yours to hand.
Okay, the wild goose chase begins.
Does anyone else think it's strange that this woman should prefer to keep to the outskirts of town?
What if she realizes the value of the information she's party to?
And the danger it puts her in.
Right, let's head out into the meadows, and I think I want to at least try and fight a few random encounters here and just try and remember what the hell's going on. In general, Final Fantasy 16, I didn't find it to be a particularly difficult game, unless you were, like, severely underleveled, and even then, like, was basically one fight that I remember. I needed the last elixir against the dragon, and then I got maybe one game over at the end. I think I maybe totaled 2 in like 60, 65 hours, including all of the bonus content, so I wouldn't call it a hard game. But I think given where we are in the story, and you know, it's so near the end game, and my level of kind of not knowing what the hell I'm doing, it's turned into probably a hard game for now. So we can do that, we can dodge like that, we can do things like this. We had this to protect us. Yeah, so obviously we're like 17 levels higher than this enemy, so we don't even really need to do anything to kill it, but just in terms of remembering some of the things to do here, I think it's a good idea. Flames of Rebirth, Pile Drive, we could do that. Okay. I literally don't remember how to dodge. You could do the whole like... Is it just L1? Whoop. I think the problem is there isn't really like as much of a quick heal thing in this game from what I can remember. Like, if you're taking a lot of damage, you kind of have to use your potions to heal. There won't be like a kind of a save crystal type thing that can just heal you up nearby. But I think we'll just kick things off and see how it goes. I'm hoping that they'll ease you in at least a little bit.
The tent is where Layla said it would be.
Yes, but who awaits us inside?
It's empty. Why am I not surprised?
You and me both, Clive. But yeah, I definitely remember the first time I came to this area and I saw that out in the distance.
When did you get so big?
Had to enjoy that moment. It's been too long. But yeah, I saw this in the distance. I definitely commented on it, and I'm sure many people did. And it seems like it was planned from the very start, I guess. I don't know if they always planned it to be DLC. I'm going to assume yes, but I guess they always had a plan for this thing. But I kind of still wish that they referenced it a little bit, like what it was, or at least hinted a little bit, because I'm pretty sure that there was nothing from what I remember. But I'm very glad to be finally finding out. I guess we're going to set sail towards it. Let's go.
Boat. No prizes for guessing who that belongs to.
Okay, continue the search. I thought we were just going to take it and get going.
The embers are still warm.
So you're Sid.
I suppose I must be. Which means you have me at a disadvantage.
Apologies. I am Shula, tributary of Mysidia, final haven of the Moats of Water.
Water.
The Moats of Water.
The very tribe into which it was believed Leviathan's dominant was born. A people notable for their sapphire eyes and ivory hair. Yet that would be impossible, since the tribe famously...
vanished. Was exterminated. Despite the best efforts of both church and state, we are still very much alive. Though we've managed to keep that fact hidden from good Krieger's faithful for over a century.
Along with Leviathan's dominant.
That wave out there. What do you know of it?
The surge. Only that it's been there a long time.
Since the fall of Drake's Eye almost a century ago. Some claim the two are connected, but none can speak with any certainty.
So in other words, you know nothing. Not that I'll hold it against you. The wave was raised by Leviathan in an act of rage. Moments before the waters were stayed, and the icon and its dominant bound within.
And you want us to?
Rescue him. Yes. You see, a little bird told me about a certain outlaw with a singular knack for putting unruly dominants in their place. And ours is about as unruly as they get. For years, we've searched for someone who could hold their own against an icon. Someone just like you. So what do you say? Will you help us?
What exactly did your dominant do to warrant this punishment?
What did he do? He committed the greatest crime one of his kind can. He was born. But he deserves a better fate than the one my people forced upon him. He deserves to be free.
As do we all. Very well. Far-fetched though your tale may seem, something tells me you speak in earnest. So we will do what we can for your dominant. But first, you will tell us everything you know about him and the means of his imprisonment.
I can do better than that. I can show you. Care to take a trip across the bay? My people await you there.
Lead the way.
Let's go. Sounds like she's from Gav's neck of the woods. Cool. Alright, let's do it. The Lost Cloak. If you manage to navigate the cloak's narrow mountaintop paths without plummeting to your death, you will be rewarded with a breathtaking view of blighted wasteland stretching from the Olive Feast Bay to the Sea Grace.
All right, you might want to hold on to something. We're coming up on the wall, and passing through can take a bit of getting used to.
I don't see any wall.
Of course you don't. That's the point. It's a glamour woven by our ancestors to keep our village hidden from prying eyes. But don't take my word for it. Watch.
That was worse than a slug of Bacchus wine.
Clive, the sky.
It's blue, but how is that possible?
You do know what a glamour is, don't you? Ours just happens to work both ways, and a good thing too. I wouldn't fancy staring at those sickly clouds every day.
Nice. Let's go. Nice to see some blue skies again for sure.
And that concludes our little voyage. We're here. It's a long slog to the village, and a hard one. I hope you're up for a climb.
So, am I making the climb, or are we just going to transition over?
Finally.
Nice.
What? You didn't think we'd arrived, did you?
Right.
The village isn't up here. It's on the other side of the mountain.
Of course it is.
Okay, fine. There we go. Homecoming trophy. Alright, make the shooter's village. So we had these things. Man, I miss good old save crystals where you could just touch it and restore all your health. So this could be a little bit rough, but we'll do our best. But yeah, game always did look pretty, and it still continues to. And I definitely like the more bright vibes here, the blue skies, vegetation, waterfalls. Definitely looks good. I did like the aesthetic of the...
Watch yourself, Sid. This path can be treacherous. If not for the sheer drop, then for the beasts who prowl it.
Thank you for the warning. And please, call me Clive. Sid is an alias.
You will be pleased to learn, Lady Shula, that I have no such aliases.
Is that so, Lord Margrace?
It's all the same to me.
But yeah, I did like the aesthetic of Echoes of the Fallen, and this one's very different to it, but it looks very cool. I mean, this is a really nice way to introduce a new location, like really impressive. We are going after Leviathan, of course, the Warden of Water. So I think it's nice to introduce some epic-looking, watery locations. Looks beautiful. It is good to be back. I have been saying that like I generally don't have that much desire to replay this game again, and it's true for like the main story, the main game. But in terms of coming back for new content, I was always going to play the DLC. I was always looking forward to it. Just wanted to find kind of the right time to do it. And well, since it had already been a little bit of a gap since I played the main game, I figured like let me take a real gap and just come back and get to enjoy it once again. Now, this could be a bit of a problem. Already a lot of enemies here, and we could get already just a little bit wrecked. So we can juggle between these and then just... oh crap, we start at level 50. I'm just going to start spamming my big moves. Give myself a chance. Wow.
We'll handle this.
That did a lot more damage than I expected.
Shall I keep my acts and spells to myself then?
Earlier you mentioned spells, yet I see you carry no crystals.
Since when did a bearer ever need crystals?
But then, where is your brand?
Yeah.
Waiting for me in Sunbreck, if I ever get careless.
Then it's in for a long wait.
So it's good to see the Flames of Rebirth still do a lot of damage, but it's not going to help me in terms of trying to learn how to play again. Let me see.